Has Outback Queensland made it onto your bucket list yet? Well, you want to make sure that you put it on there. Deep dive with me into episode 18 while I'm joined with Outback Queensland Tourism Association while we talk about all things Outback Queensland. Hey, I'm Steph and I'm obsessed with all things travel, marketing, branding and helping you stand out from the crowd. In just under 2 years, I went from being a home-based travel agent with zero clue how to make it work in the digital world to launching an international ranking travel podcast and creating an online course to help travel agents in lead generation. Here's one thing I know for sure. There has never in the history of the world been a better time to create the travel business you've always wanted. All you need is an actionable strategy and someone to show you the way. Picture this, we're going to spend the next hour of our time together at the Swim Up Pool Bar where over a cocktail, we deep dive into travel-related topics, mixed with a little classroom training. This show is dedicated to encouraging you to step outside of your comfort zone and into your travel business. I'll show you how I did it and how you can too. Hit subscribe now and let's get into it. If you're a travel agent wanting to onboard your perfect fit clients into your biz, download my free cheat sheet for lead generation systems you can use right now. Head to stephaniemyers.academy/cheat sheet. You're listening to Unplug in Paradise, the podcast. Hello and welcome to episode number 18 in Unplug in Paradise, the podcast. My name is Stephanie Myers. I am your travel agent and your host today. Today we're here to talk about Outback Queensland. We're going to do an overview with some beautiful ladies, why Outback Queensland is an ideal option for a girls' trip away and why people are flocking there, how accessible parts of Queensland is by road and flight, and also what is out there to explore and do. We're looking for those hidden gems. We're looking for what's in store for you. So stay tuned while we deep dive in with some amazing ladies. Hello, Janice and Michelle. A lovely big welcome to you both and thank you for joining me on the podcast.
Hello, Stephanie. Thanks for having us. So happy to be
It's
here.
my pleasure. Thank you. Before we begin, I'd really love for you to both join me while I take a moment to recognise the generations of the local Aboriginal people of the Bundjalung Nation who have lived in and derived their physical and spiritual needs from the forests, rivers, lakes and streams of this beautiful valley over thousands of years as the traditional owners and custodians of these lands. In today's episode, I have Janice McDonald and Michelle Nicholson from the Outback Queensland Tourism Association. This dynamic duo have over 55 years of travel industry experience and knowledge combined, which really shows through their passion and enthusiasm for travel. We will be doing a detailed overview of Outback Queensland as a must-see destination where you can truly connect with the land, the sky, and everything in between. Outback Queensland is one of those destinations that can't be categorised in just one area only, as our big, beautiful country is huge and bountiful. There are many different regions that make up the entirety with plenty of options to explore the wild. So welcome, Janice and Michelle. What can you tell us about Outback Queensland?
Can I just interrupt and just let you know that 55 years worth of experience is making me feel very old. And for everybody out there wondering, we started as babies. Is that okay?
Sure.
Right.
No
now
problem.
that we've got that out of the way, let's start. I'm feeling old all of a sudden, Janice. I'm feeling very old.
No, it's called experience, Michelle.
Experience.
It's experience.
Yes, wisdom. I'm still waiting for that. Sorry, what was the question?
Outback Queensland. It's truly amazing destination. It's very sad that a lot of people want to save it for, when they get to an age where they feel they have to only do it by caravan. it is such a diverse and dynamic destination. It's not like the Outback Northern Territory. Our Queensland Outback is so much more different. Within hours, you're in a different town. Someone explained it to us that the towns that came about had to be a horseback ride away during the day. So from morning to night, wherever they traveled, kind of that's where a town popped up. So it's a lot more little towns within Outback Queensland than you perhaps would get in, say, the Northern Territory. So you don't have to pack 5 jerry cans of fuel and 6 weeks of food, because your next food stop could be 3.5 hours away from where you've just left the little town.
But the area is huge. It is massive. It's actually as big as Europe, isn't it, Jan?
Yeah. And it's broken into different regions, and there's 5 different regions. So there is a lot to cover, and doesn't matter if you want to go from, one region to another. It just depends on basically the world's your oyster and where you want to go.
I love that. And how accessible is Outback Queensland from the coastline? Is there options to fly?
So there's actually quite a few ways that you can get to Outback Queensland. So there are quite a lot of regional airports within Outback Queensland. I think when we last counted, there was about 22. So there's quite a few airstrips out there in Outback Queensland. A lot of people, they fly. So QantasLink, Rex, to name 2 airlines that fly out to Outback Queensland. Longreach is probably one of those major airports. A lot of people tend to get the rail as well. So Queensland Rail have some great services to Outback Queensland. Also, a lot of self-drive, a lot of girl trips out on a weekend or a long weekend, that would be. So self-driving has become quite popular. And also just with the flying or the rail, there are those car hire opportunities as well, that you can pick up a car and drive around the towns and then return your car back to the airport is what a lot of people do as well. So, yeah, there's plenty of ways to get out to Outback Queensland.
So just on the coastline side of things, Steph, Brisbane, for instance, to Roma is 5.5-hour drive, and you're kind of in the outback already. People don't realise it's that close. It's right on that.
It's so close.
Yeah. And another thing is, you don't have to just commence your trip from Brisbane. If you want to do the northwest part of Outback Queensland, you can start your journey from as far up as Cairns and Townsville, and then hit the outback from that direction as well. So it's very, very accessible area to get to.
I think it was about 7 hours, Jan, that it took us to get from Winton to Townsville. So that's pretty much a day's drive. But again, a day of driving through quite a few towns, and one of the major ones being Charters Towers. So so you can. It's an easy drive from the coastline.
And a lot of the roads in Outback Queensland are sealed. 80% are accessible on just a normal vehicle. Michelle recently did an Outback trip with her family.
And I drove a Subaru Liberty. I didn't even drive a Subaru Outback. In
the Outback.
I should have been more prepared. But we really just took the family car and just hit the road. And to be honest, like Jan said, the roads were so easy to drive on, sealed, lots of overtaking lanes as well. Because you can get a little bit nervous when you see those massive, long road trains on the road, and you really don't know just how long they are until you overtake them. They could be 4 or 5 carriages. So it's amazing. And the thing was that there were lots and lots of overtaking lanes. So it just made it really safe to drive. Like, I never felt like I was, getting forced off the road. So I guess those long roads and the roads being well kept, on those major roads in particular, we could just sit on cruise control. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And we hardly went through any fuel until we got into the towns, you know, and stop started. So it was a really easy drive, not scary at all.
Yeah, I love the idea of being able to do a road trip out there. It sounds absolutely amazing, and lots of freedom, and you know,
lots
just
of sky,
being able to
sky.
Just being able to go out there and just really ground yourself and get to know our country at the heart.
We were watching some of the trips of some of our team that have recently been up there, and you know, they came across some very different people along the road, all the emus that they might encounter, kangaroos. So it's not just, you know, about boring long roads. There is, you know, the wildlife and the change of scenery. And at the moment, there's a lot of wildflowers out. So it's just a beautiful drive. It's not always, you know, the same old.
And when you start to see the red dirt, Janice, like that's amazing. When you start to see that red dirt on the side of the road, like that's what I loved, was seeing all that red, rich dirt, rich soil.
Yes, it's such an experience for, like, I'm a coastal girl, so I've always grown up near the beach, and anytime that I've gone into the desert, it's always been such a huge thing, like, oh my God, look at the ground. It's so rich and red, and then it changes color depending on the time of day, and it's just amazing.
And the color, I tell you, like at sunset, it's just amazing. The picking up the redness of the dirt with the sunset in the background, it's just, you know, spectacular photography.
You can just imagine, like, after doing a hike or doing a long day's drive, and then just sitting back in your accommodation or along, you know, the edge of the pool, or in a bathtub.
Outdoor bathtub.
And clothes are required.
So would you say that would be one of the really unique experiences that you could have in the Outback?
I would definitely say so. When we first started working at Outback Queensland, we kind of had no idea what to expect. And one of the major things that kept popping up, besides the different dinosaur fossils in the various regions, was that the outdoor bathtub plays quite a significant role in some of the little towns. And I could just imagine sitting in a nice, gorgeous, cool, you know, artesian bore bathtub, drinking my vino at sunset and having a platter of cheese next to myself and having a good yarn with a girlfriend. Nothing better to end a day like that.
I don't know whether you saw, Janice, did you see Farmer Wants a Wife?
Oh,
did you watch that?
I'm not into reality shows like you, Michelle.
Yeah, I love I love that show.
Only if he's gorgeous.
Well, I love that show. And what I loved about this year's series was that they actually featured a very dapper farmer from Cunnamulla. And in one of the episodes, he took his lady friend to one of the stations out there. Now, the station called Charlotte's Plains. And I would definitely recommend, you know, talking to you, Stephanie, for everybody to talk to you about, you know, having a look at that particular station visit, because they've got these two magnificent bathtubs outdoor, and it's just an amazing setting that you find these outdoor bathtubs in. So
and that's just one of many.
That's one of many outdoor bathtub experiences. And the funniest thing is, though, now when we talk about it, so many people have gone Outback, and now they're sending us photos of them in the Outback bathtubs. So, you know, with clothes on, with a glass of wine in hand.
You're setting the trend. Your holiday is not complete unless it involves a bathtub being outside in the red dirt. I
think I sent you a photo of me in the bathtub with a glass of wine.
Yeah, you did. I like that one.
Everyone's got to do it.
Had no water in it.
Yeah, no, it was all for the photo shot. Okay, we've got to get that right.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So, what are some other reasons why women should consider Outback Queensland for a domestic
There's a lot of
getaway?
artesian spas, which we've learnt about along our trip as well. Just on the lower part, the southwest region of the Outback, small little town like Mitchell has got some artesian spas. St. George has some thermal heated pools. So it's all about, that revitalizing your body and mind and spirit in these places. A good opportunity again, if you've done a hike somewhere or you've just had a hectic work schedule and you just want to get away and just enjoy relaxing. These are some of the little places people can just sit and relax and just ease their tension away.
Yeah, I have to agree with Janice. Like, I think, originally I knew nothing about the artesian spas out in the Outback Queensland. And like, for me, I think, one of the most wonderful things that I can do for myself is just to soak myself in, mineralized waters and relaxing my body and my mind. It's just such good therapy for the soul, I think, as well. And let's face it, we've all had one of those years that, haven't probably been like any other year. So I definitely think, spending time in those artesian spa places, as well as there's actually a little place called Yulo, which is near Cunnamulla. Again, where you might even run into that dapper farmer, and they actually have artesian mud baths. So if you did want
nice.
to if you wanted to get down and dirty, then
literally
soak in some.
Come on.
I know. Okay, sorry. Can I take that back? Press stop, pause, rewind, start recording again. Soaking in that warm artesian water, but it's impregnated with clay, so you've got this really mineral rich mud that you can just like lather your body in and then come out looking I guess more fresh, relaxed and youthful. And why not do all of that at sunset and have a glass of wine while you're doing it as well? So,
oh my gosh, it sounds like the ultimate girls trip.
Okay, let's
like
go.
a girls road trip.
But that's not all. We found quite amazing in the Outback. There's even opportunities, on the accommodation side to actually enjoy some different types of accommodations and glamping. So there is so much out there for people to really take advantage of in Outback Queensland.
I love that. I can't wait. I'm keen to go. The borders are open for me now in New South Wales.
Yes,
so let's
they
go.
are.
we just need the rest of the country at time of recording. We're in quite a bit of a pickle in regards to the borders in Australia being closed to each other. Which I never realised how divided our country really was up until this point, but we're learning very hard and fast about how it operates, but looking forward to having borders opening to more states around the country so we can access beautiful places like Outback Queensland. So how can we find out more about Outback Queensland as a destination, and how can we start planning our next holiday?
I think the important thing people need to realise about the Outback Queensland is that because Queensland has been open for Queenslanders for quite a number of months now, it's been very busy in Outback Queensland. And due to COVID, there's a lot of restrictions on the number of people being allowed into some of these tourist attractions. So it is very important that people come to you, book the accommodation so at least they get something, and the touring. All tours need to be pre-booked before they leave. One, because they're going all that way and they don't want to be disappointed if they can't get in, and at least if it's pre-booked through you, they know they've got that tour ready and waiting for them, and they have access to that attraction when they visit in the region.
That's right. Anything to minimize the stress levels.
Correct.
Absolutely. So it's I definitely think people need to obviously prepare. They need to get the itinerary sorted, book the tours through. You've got all the contacts to book all the tours, Steph, and go through all the accommodation and also and just look at those other unique experiences with regards to the spas. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I just thought car hire. Not all the places have large car hire places. So if people want to hire a car, they've only got small little numbers of fleet available.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth, pre-booking even those small little details with you before they depart for their trip.
That's right. Where can people head to online to get some inspiration and some extra tools for planning?
Well, definitely the Experience Outback Queensland website.
And the Outback Queensland website itself has got quite a lot of beautiful imagery, driving distances, flying times, what to do, like a couple of the top things, tourist attractions to do in each of the towns. So it's a good way to work out what they exactly want to see when they're in the Outback.
I love that you've got all the maps on there as well. So most of the places, I'm guessing, heading more inland, you'd probably have reception dropping in and out if you're using GPS on your phone.
So
having a map would be helpful.
Definitely. And I mean, obviously there are those those black spots when it comes to Wi-Fi. Those major towns that we have spoken about, like the Longreach, Longreach, Roma, Barcaldine, Charleville. I mean, they all have Wi-Fi. Some of them are more leaning towards Telstra, I noticed as well. So but everywhere you go, there's like a reception, where you stay. There's always that opportunity to get on the net. So and check your GPS or your phone and so forth. But
and make sure you upload those beautiful photos of you in the bathtub on Facebook and Insta.
And tag us. Hashtag Outback Queens.
I love it. There's a term for that. It's called smosting. It's social media boasting. So smosting.
I like that.
That's what we've been doing, Jess.
I'm learning a new word today.
Wow. I'm writing that down. I will forget about that.
Yeah, me too.
We've been in the industry 55 years. So memory is not one of our finer qualities.
So we can head over to your Facebook page, Experience Outback Queensland, and get some inspiration there. Yes. Are you ladies also on Instagram as well?
Yes. Well, I am. But it's more. I have got some Outback Queensland shots there, but they're more. If you want to tune in and see my children and my family, by all means. But I don't know how interesting that would be for you.
Stop smoking.
Has Outback Queensland got an Instagram page?
One? Yes.
Yes. We can start one.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm sure your kids are interesting.
Sure. But definitely, there's a lot of imagery that you can pick up from the Experience Outback Queensland website and the Facebook page as well. That is a bit of a go-to for everybody, I think, just to start, that discovery of Outback Queensland and learning about the area. Because like Jana said, it's so diverse. There's so many different regions, and each region has something unique to offer. So, which I'm sure we can discuss down the track.
That's right. I look forward to having you girls back with me, because we are going to do a couple more episodes together. So we're going to have like a little mini series featuring the Outback Queensland regions and what it encompasses in way of accommodation styles. So we're going to do an episode on accommodation styles, we are actually going to deep dive into road trips and also what touring options are out there as well. So stay tuned for those. And yes, it's been great having you ladies on the show today.
We might even talk about the bakeries
so much
as well
fun
in Outback Queensland.
Food, yes. Can we add on
Yes,
another one about
food.
food?
We
Yes,
can't forget
please.
that.
I'm all
Eating
about
your way
food.
through the Outback.
I like it. Okay. I'm writing that down right now. Thanks,
It's
Michelle.
okay. Always thinking about my stomach.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I'm so appreciative that you've given up so much already to be a part of the podcast, and I really, really look forward to getting you ladies both back on the show again.
We're
Thanks
so
for having us, Stephanie. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you. I'll chat to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Well, wasn't that a fun episode? Gosh, those ladies are an absolute classic. I love them. Not only are they knowledgeable, they're highly skilled in what they do, and they're incredible in the way that they storytell. So I'm really looking forward to our upcoming episodes together. So today's episode, we've spoken about quite a lot in regards to Outback Queensland and what's available. So I just wanted to drop in the show notes link. So that's travelbystephanie.com.au/18 for all the show notes that we discussed today. So in the show notes, we've got the Outback Queensland Tourism website. You can head over to the website and check out everything in regards to Outback Queensland. They've got a whole range of maps and destination information, and also some really interesting news articles as well. So make sure you check them out. They've also got an Instagram page. So head over to Instagram and give them a follow. That's Outback Queensland. And also stay tuned on their Facebook page as well. So all the links are in the show notes. Also, if you're wanting to have a look at some FAQs for Outback Queensland, if you haven't really thought about it as a destination before, definitely need to add it on your list because it is incredibly accessible and it's really life-changing in way of, because like as you saw in the episode, I'm a coastal girl and I've been to the desert a few times, but I didn't quite realise how close it is to the coast. So it's really, really accessible. And yeah, it sounds like an amazing place to go and chill and relax. So if you have enjoyed this episode, I do have a favour. Please go over to Apple Podcast and leave a 5-star review and a little bit of a rating on there for me. That would be fantastic. And also, if you are on Spotify, I don't think there's a way to leave a review on Spotify, but just you can follow me on Spotify. That would be awesome. And also make sure you spread the word. If there's any ladies out there amongst your tribe who love traveling or looking for the next best thing, make sure you share this episode with them because that would be awesome. Also, if you're on Instagram and you are listening to my episode, I would so love it if you would tag me in your stories, and then that way I can reshare on my socials as well and spread the love that way. I'm really, really excited for our next couple of episodes with these ladies, so make sure you stay tuned and you have already subscribed to the podcast. I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.